right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Good Morning Xbox. I'm your host, Axel1324.
I'm Cool Cat Terry.
And that's Dreadpool, people. He's there. We swear, we were talking to him earlier. All right, while Dreadpool gets his technical difficulties, you think he fell asleep, Terry?
Maybe.
All right, let's see. Shout out to the chat, to the iconic chat. First up is Doggadog420, my brother. Good morning. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the real MVP. After like, I don't know, 30 minutes of waiting for you guys to start, I kind of gave up. So shout out to Back from the Dead. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the real MVP. And let's see. Jesse Darby joins us. Thank you so much, Jesse Darby. You are the real MVP. We appreciate you. And Dan, the man Cunningham, joins us. He says, good morning, all. I'm here on time today. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. And Your Wicked Hot also joins us. He says, hey, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, Your Wicked Hot. Thank you so much for joining us. Terry, while we wait for Dreadpool. Dreadpool, did you fall asleep?
No. I had to run and get a coffee, and then I spilled it.
Oh, man. Did you spill it on your beard?
No.
Okay, no sin committed then.
I saved the
All
beard.
is forgiven.
Yeah. Then I had to double back and go clean it up. You can't just leave that.
That way, your house will have that strong, bitter coffee smell.
Well, I was more worried about staining, filling some papers.
Well, did you spill it on carpet or like on flooring?
Paper. As soon as I got to my desk. There.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I made it through the house running without spilling a drop. Go to set it down, and that was it. All the momentum just splashed out. But funny. Yeah, I'm having a good time. It's Sunday.
Yeah, hey. Sunday's always Xbox. Good. Go. Getting my coffee right here.
Got some awesome people in the chat. Love the mug, by the way.
Yes. But now that we know Dreadpool is okay and not asleep, Terry, what have you been playing this week?
I messed around with a little bit of SnowRunner, and I finally got to play Diablo for like one day, and I finally got Act 1 done. So it's just slow going because my group, the one guy in our group is he's in the military, so they keep shipping him because he's in Canada. They keep shipping him on road trips to California and back. So it's like, so we only get to play once every like 2 weeks. So like we don't get very far. But,
wow. So no, like I feel you. I've been playing Diablo, trying to get through it. I think I'm like at the end of Act 2 right now, and I've been playing since launch. And the reason I'm only at the end of Act 2 is because those blue exclamation side quests keep coming up, and I keep doing them. I'm like a level 50 druid still on Act 2.
Yeah, I'm in the mid 40s right now, and I just got done with Act 1. But I mean, it's all right. It's good. I'm starting to like my druid more. I've respect and redone my build like 3 times now. I think I finally got it to where I'm not miserable. But it's I don't know. I still prefer the other Diablos. Like I don't know. There's just something about 4 that I'm not really having as much fun playing it. Cinematic wise and like graphically, like they really up their game, but gameplay wise, I don't know. It just feels like I don't know. I think it's the fact that they have like this open world thing where like this, not really open world, but like this MMO kind of thing where you have random people in there. It drives me nuts. I hate it. I hate seeing other people just running through because then they're all on their horses. They run through. They have a whole mob of stuff, and then that mob stops on my group every freaking time. And I hate it. I hate this whole aspect of them having just random people in your game. I hate it. It's ruining my life. Like I don't want it. I don't want it.
Diablo 4. I like the mobs enough. The problem with the druid is there's only like 1 or 2 viable builds with it, and some of them are so item specific that if you don't have those items, you die. Like, you cannot just be like, oh, I want to run around like Thor because, Druid has a lot of lightning powers, right? And you can have a hammer and you're like, I want to be Thor. Nope. You're going to get deleted. And I do mean this, deleted, right? And it's it's annoying. It's annoying to me that I can't just have a fun build in Diablo. I must go with the meta.
Yeah,
I must go with the meta, and that
it's
annoys
not a
me.
good balance because a person should be able to just go in and do whatever they want and still be able to enjoy the game, not be forced to, I have to look up a build and I have to make it exactly like that in order to have fun. Like that's broken to me. Like you shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah, that's exactly my point.
Well, that's game breaking. You know what I mean? To some, yeah, it's great that you can go in there and do it specifically like this, but sometimes, it's game breaking when you can't do what you want to do.
Yeah, and then every update nerfs things more and more and more. Like you can't have broken builds, but they also don't make other builds viable. And during the updates, they just keep nerfing the broken builds that people, the meta builds that people discover, and they just keep nerfing and nerfing and nerfing. Like every update in Diablo so far has been a nerf. There has been no increases. I guess the druid got a spirit generation increase, but that's it. Otherwise, I think it's been nothing but nerfs. Nerfing the druid, nerfing the sorcerer, especially. The sorcerer right now is super nerfed to the point where people are like left Diablo in droves right as they launched season 1, and that's a problem.
No, not unless you're Princess Leia. She likes nerf herders.
She likes nerf herders. No. Star Wars reference for all of you youngins. But yeah, no, it's just I feel that Blizzard, instead of nerfing characters, because having broken builds is fun, Terry. You know this. When you're playing an ARPG or a CRPG, having a broken build is fun. Why not just buff more items so that people can be more viable, like the lightning items? Just throwing that out there. Just throwing it out there. All right, sorry, didn't mean to get off on topics here. Let's go back to it. Here. Shout out to Eternal Should Die. Eternal Should Die says, "Good morning, everyone. I've been playing Remnant 2. That game is crazy. Oh man,
I'm looking forward to getting that one. It's just I'm in no rush.
Like Souls games, Terry.
What? No, I love Remnant. Remnant was good.
Remnant was awesome.
Because Remnant was one of those games where it kind of, it has the inspiration of like your Soulsborne stuff, but it isn't over the top, like masochist. You can still have fun, And it has true co-op on it, not that BS that Dark Souls has, where your person is like invisible and campfire BS. Like screw that nonsense. I want true co-op, and Remnant has it. So
yeah, and especially the fact that you know the original Remnant, I remember you could not kill every boss in the game in one world in one playthrough.
Yeah.
You had to go into your friend's world to maybe get the chance to kill another boss. And to get more epic items. And yeah, Remnant was love Remnant. It's the Dark Souls of gun games. That's all I gotta say.
It's like a good like shooter, like Dark Souls. It's good. I like it. I really enjoyed the first one. And I'm looking forward to playing the sequel. I got enough games that I've started that I haven't been able to finish because my one buddy's always gone. And it's like I can't start up another one because this is another one where we would have him because it's a 3-man team for Remnant. So like my third is always missing. So it's like I can't finish a single game.
yeah. And Remnant was so hard that you needed that third. Like you needed that third. And at that they needed to be good.
Like we didn't really struggle too much in the first one. There was the only bosses in the first game that whooped us over and over and over were the flipping the triple beetle boss. That one. We died so many times around that tiny little rope bridge, and you have like the big beetles. I hated it. I hated that one so much. We died a bajillion times.
We died. We wanted to get the gun from the tree boss, the big tree boss. I don't know if you ran into that one. He was monstrous and he was huge, and he would summon these like poison walkers that would blow up. And you had to constantly be dodging or shooting. And the thing is, the tree boss, you know how the bosses had stages to them, right? Like, this is the beginning stage, and then they transform. They had up to 4 stages on it, and depending on how you shot them, they would change their forms. But if you wanted certain weapons, you couldn't let them change into other forms, right? So we wanted the gun weapon so bad, and that tree boss just kept whooping us. Like we got it down to like the magic pixel, the magic pixel of health, and we all died.
Oh no!
And
oh no!
Finally, we just got sick and we meleeed it to death, which is a much easier tree boss, and we got the melee weapon. But I was sad. I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. We should have just kept going for the gun.
Yeah.
Anyways, shout out to Shaddai. Black Carde joins us. Shout out to Black Carde. Thank you so much for joining us. What's up, guys? Hey, not much for Black Carde. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the real MVP. But on to Dreadpool. Dreadpool, what have you been playing this week?
Well, let's see. The most exciting one, which is Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Got to play, download forever, and not get on an online service while I was watching Retri and back play and say hello to Axel, but he never said hello back because he left.
I said hello to you first.
You said hello. You said, did I hear Dreadpool? And he's like, yeah. So I jumped on his chat and said, hey. And
I saw the little I see you Axel 1324 our iconic. Yeah, I see you.
So, but yeah, I played a lot of I guess internet games, you want to call it, because I couldn't get on. I kept on restarting. I'd restart the game, restart the Xbox. I mean, I could not get online for the life of me, and everybody else is playing. So that's what I ended up doing last night, was playing the will it work today, or will it work now? Will it work this time? And finally, after 3 hours, gave up. So that's dedication to try to play a game.
Yeah, 3 hours. Yeah. I'll be giving up after 30 minutes.
But other than that, I've been doing, videos from these cons that I was at last week. So sorry I missed you guys last week, but you got to do stuff.
Be sure to check out those videos, guys. They're pretty awesome. There's some interesting cosplays, some mashups, and some very risque cosplays, as always.
Yeah, they're safe though.
They are safe. The videos are safe.
Yeah, everything's family oriented, so it's good.
Yeah, really, very awesome, Dreadpool. Well, hey, you got to play. Let's see if it works. We've all played that game. Not sure. I want to join you on that one personally.
No one does. No one does.
Yeah. So for me, I made this entire week was Cloud Week for me. I played more on xCloud than I did on my physical Xbox. The longest my Xbox was on this week was to watch the Super Mario Bros. Movie. By the way, watch it. It's super awesome. It's a pretty good movie, guys. I don't know. Have you guys seen the Super Mario Bros. Movie?
Yeah, I saw it in the theaters. I enjoyed it. My husband hated it. He hated it.
Oh my gosh, make that man sleep on the couch, Terry.
Didn't see that. I couldn't get a chance to break away to see it, but we did see the other one.
There's another Mario movie?
No, the other movie that's hot this week.
Oh, Barbie?
Yeah.
Oh, how is it?
It's actually not a bad movie. It even made fun of itself too, which was even better. It made light of
those are the best movies.
Yeah, so it made fun of the social drama that's going on in today's world. It made light of a lot of the stuff that we deal with, daily, and kind of like the fact that Barbie was only made to help. You know what I mean? So I don't want to give away the movie, but it wasn't a bad movie. I went there with Tiny Giant, Death Dealer, our adopted mom, Death Dealer's grandmother. So, Tiny Giant's great grandmother was there. And then another family friend that's been an adopted grandmother for my daughter. So yeah, they all went, and I'm like the only guy. Yeah, but it wasn't that bad. They had a good time.
So much pink. I'm sure there was so much pink.
Yeah.
You know what? If I go see the Barbie movie in theaters, I'm wearing my pink outfit. Just saying.
I have a coral shirt because my wife said that
it's not pink. It's coral, Terry. It's coral.
Yes.
It's pink, Dreadful. Just say it's pink.
You gotta highlight it like that. It's coral.
He's gonna make it sound as masculine as he can. Like it's not pink, it's coral, man.
Well,
coral,
it's definitely
guys,
not
it's coral.
pink because we all stood at each other and I was the oddball. Like, you couldn't even make it match. And I'm like, nope. So great grandma looks over at me and she's like, I like this shirt, but it's, I never see you in colors, but I like the black on you more, which because I always wear black shirts. So I thought it was kind of funny that great grandma stuck up for me, and even though she liked the color and it wasn't pink, she stuck up for me. Wear a black shirt.
There you go. It's coral. All right, so awesome. Barbie movie and Mario Brothers movie. Saw that one with my wife. We ended up getting some chocolate and some snacks, and we drank some tea, and we watched the movie. And that's what my Xbox was doing this week. But overall, I've only been playing on xCloud this week. I don't know why. I just felt like playing on my phone more than playing on my TV because I wanted to lay down. And so I have my go-to cloud games, which is Flight Simulator, Halo Wars 2, and what is it? Curse of the White Witch? Oh my god. It's an old PS3 game. What is it called?
I'm not the one that plays it. You tell me.
Is it PS3? So you lost me because I didn't play like.
I was going with Curse of the Lamb. But
Ni no Kuni. There we go. Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White
Ni no
Witch.
Kuni.
There we go. Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. Pretty good. It runs really smooth on xCloud. If you haven't played Ni no Kuni, you should. It's super adorable cutscenes, really nicely animated.
I started playing the first one on my Switch, and I was really enjoying it. And then I got to a boss fight. I got distracted, went to go play other games, came back, can't remember how to play. Now I can't get past the boss fight because I forgot how to play.
Yeah, you gotta.
So now I'm stuck.
The combat takes a little while to figure out. Like,
so I'm completely stuck now, and I'm like, crap. I might have to restart the whole game so I can learn how to play again. Like, I don't want to do it. So
and the intro to Ni no Kuni, no offense, Ni no Kuni, 2 hours for an intro is BS. 15 minutes, man. 15 minutes. Get it short.
15 minutes is even too long.
The whole anime right there.
Yeah. Shout out to RWK88 who joins us. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the real MVP. Graphic God joins us. He says, good morning, Xbox family. Good morning, Graphic God. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the real MVP. And he says, peaches, 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 peaches. I love that song.
No, it's Coral.
And RWK says he's heading to Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. Do you know where that is, Dredd? That's down in your neck of the woods, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it's a few hours away.
Eternal Shaddai says, Dredd, just dye your beard pink. One night only. Come on, Dredd.
Some of that spray.
I
wash it out later.
Yeah, but I actually did dye it red before. I was Dimebag Daryl for Halloween.
Nice.
But I was the dead Dimebag Daryl. So I had all the bullet holes put there.
Let me see. And shout out to Fastback joining us. Thank you so much for joining us, Fastback. You are the real MVP. Let's see. What else we got? Fastback says that he's playing Wandering Village. What is Wandering Village? That sounds so familiar. Anybody? No?
I haven't heard of that one.
Isn't Wandering Village that one where you're like on the back of a dinosaur or something like that?
Was it a turtle?
It was like a dinosaur turtle thing. Let me see. Wandering Village game. I'm just looking at images real quick, guys. Yeah, it is the one I'm thinking about. The one where you're on a big beast. It was on the indie showcase. Terry, how do you not know this?
There's like a bajillion indie games. Okay, I'm not gonna know every single one. There's a lot of them.
I need an indie spotlight on this now. Go.
Wandering Village. That's all I know about it. Get it now.
Get it now on Steam and Xbox Game Pass. Yeah, it's the one where you're on the back of a beast. If you remember, it was on the
I did not see this.
showcase.
What is this?
Yeah, this is the Wandering Village.
This is Terry's new favorite game.
Yeah, you.
See, I recognize fitting in 2. I don't know what this one is.
Yeah, so Wandering Village. Shout out to back. Yeah, so it is the one I was thinking about.
Huh.
So there you go. Let's see. Let's keep it going here. Shout out to Cheo Walker for joining us. He goes, I'm the same. Left the game and now forgot how to play. Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens. It happens. Oh, no. Should I? Don't get it twisted. It's not a 2-hour cutscene. It's a 2-hour tutorial. Okay, it's a 2-hour tutorial. It's like a never-ending tutorial. So that's what I didn't get it. And he says, yep, it's on Game Pass. Absolutely. Has anyone here played the Antstream Arcade on Xbox successfully played local multiplayer? Anybody?
You know, I was going to buy it, and I spent my money on Black Ops 3.
Oh, man.
I should have spent my money there.
Oh.
That was the intent, was to go buy that, and then everybody else was playing Black Ops. I probably would have been able to play it and then actually tell you, Graphic God, how it plays.
I don't do local, so
yeah, I wouldn't be able to do local. Nobody I play with is local here. I do nothing but online co-op these days.
Same.
Yeah. Mr. Kima joins us. Shout out to Mr. Kima. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. And that's it so far. All right, let's get right into it. Thank you so much for joining us during this warm-up session, guys, and hearing what we had to play. But let's get straight to the topics. And the first topic is going to be Xbox Live is dead. Actually, it's officially dead by now, right? I think you can no longer get no. The pricing tick change. Okay, no, sorry. Okay, got my announcements mixed up. Xbox Live has died. They replaced it with Xbox Network for a while, but Live Gold, Xbox Gold, Xbox Network Gold, Xbox Live Gold is dead. It is now being replaced with Game Pass Core. Game Pass Core is coming this September. Now, this is by Jarrett West, Chief Vice President of Gaming Marketing. There you go. So it's starting September 14th. And instead of getting games with gold, now you will have access to 25 games, I believe.
It was 25 plus, but yeah, 25 is basically the number.
25 games, access to those. So yeah, there we go. Now, we'll go over the games first. Let's go over the pricing model first, as this is the contentious part, in my opinion.
Contentious.
It is to me. So we, the gaming hardcore, the Xbox hardcore, have been wanting Xbox Live Gold to die for a long time, for many years. We don't think, especially now that Xbox Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate are a thing, we don't believe that we should have to pay for online multiplayer, especially seeing as now Xbox's Xbox PC and Xbox console are essentially the same thing, but we're not, because PC gets access to online multiplayer while we do not for free. Now, keep that in mind. The entry level to PC gaming is much higher. There's no such thing as a subsidized PC. And on PC, the operating systems are fully open. Xbox is not open. So I understand the differences. But my wallet doesn't. Okay, and that's my point. But Xbox Game Pass Core, $9.99 a month. You get online console multiplayer, a catalog of 25 highly quality games on console, and member deals and discounts. That's great. That's basically Xbox Live Gold right now. Then you go over to console. So you're paying $2 more, $2 more, $9, 10. No, $1 more. For $1 more, you go online, you get access to all the great games on Xbox Game Pass, but you lose online multiplayer for $1 more. And that's the contentious part to me. Like, how can you go up a level?
You said that wrong.
And lose a feature.
You said that wrong.
How did I say that wrong?
You didn't. You just said you lose game online and you get Game Pass.
When you go to Game Pass console, you lose online multiplayer, but you get access to the 400 plus Xbox Game Pass games.
Okay. I misheard you then. So, my bad.
Yeah.
That's the confusing part, right?
That's
it's going back and forth like that. That's the confusing part.
That's the crap part. How do you gain access to all these games that are good? I would say at least 50, if not 80% of them have online multiplayer components, and you lose the ability to do online multiplayer.
Think about this. Even some of the single player games, you have to log online.
Can you play online? With Xbox Live Silver, could you still play the online login games? I don't know. And I don't know because I've been on Xbox Live Gold or better for 15 years. So if someone in the chat knows, let us know. But yeah, we'll see where that goes. So from core, you go to console, you lose a feature, but you gain access to the games. And then on console, you skip over PC and you can go to Ultimate, which is the best deal in my opinion. Still a fantastic price. I don't care what anybody says. This is the way to go. But when you compare console to PC, PC gets online multiplayer, obviously, and they get an EA Play membership, which is an ultimate perk. So for less than the console price, you keep online multiplayer and you get an ultimate perk. And this is the part that's just convoluting. Like, it doesn't progressively get better. It's like, oh, hey, with Game Pass console, you get everything that core does plus this. Or with, Xbox PC, it's the same as Xbox console. You know, it didn't tier up properly, and it convolutes the message, in my opinion. And I think it's a bunch of crap that you lose features.
I think that's where everybody's looking at it wrong. It's not a tier as in level 1, level 2, level 3.
Yeah.
It's an option of this is one section, this is another section, this is the next section. I think that's where the confusion is, because you expect it to be level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4 would be ultimate. But when you look at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Core, one section has these features. Consoles, another section has these features. PC has another section that has these other features.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you add them together, right, you're talking about $31 to get all of it together, or you can pay almost half price to get ultimate for all of them combined.
Yeah. And that's another thing, right? Like, I guess you could pay for core or for console and PC separately. But at that point, you might as well just get ultimate because it covers both. But it just, I don't know. I feel that because they didn't tier it, like they're individual products more than they are tiers.
Correct.
Right. And I believe, and people aren't used to that anymore. We're used to tiers. You know, we're used to the fuel, unleaded, mid-grade, and premium unleaded, you know? And this is just 4 different products, 4 different Game Pass products. And you can't be on 2 products at the same time on the same device. What I mean by that is, you know, you can't get core on PC. Well, let's eliminate PC for this conversation because it should be kind of over here on the side by itself. You can't get core, and you can get core or console because they'll just automatically put you on ultimate.
At least they're saving you money versus.
I mean, it's a good deal. I still think ultimate is the best deal. I'm just saying, if they're individual products, you should be able to stack them. But why would you when ultimate exists, right?
That's why they're not tiered.
Yeah. So I think I really feel that Game Pass console, this was a prime opportunity for Xbox to move the online multiplayer to console and make everybody happy and just get rid of this tier altogether. Just make it go away. I don't understand why it exists. I don't understand. I don't understand it at all.
Options.
For who? Like when you think of casuals, let's just pretend like my nephew, you know, who spends most of his time just playing Fortnite and Call of Duty. That multiplayer is included on with Silver. if you will, right? So why would he get core? I mean, can you still party up on silver?
You should be able to. If
Yeah.
it's online, if it's free to play online,
Mhm.
they've released it so you can play some of those games. Now, here's the other question. What if you're a parent and you do not want your child online?
Don't get them anything.
Well, you can get them.
You better get them some board games.
You get them
Some
console.
board games.
But you can get. But they see that's the thing though. Now you can get them console.
Mm-hmm.
See, so there's many different ways to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's the thing. If you get them console, then they can't get online unless they're playing the free to play game.
I mean, if you don't want your child online this day and age, you get them a Switch. I mean, that thing has online, but it's terrible, so nobody will use it.
Yeah, so I mean, I think part of it is the way we look at it. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but if you look at it through a different lens, it makes sense. So that's, the beauty of different minds and, debates and discussions.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, Terry. What are your opinions on this?
All right. So for me, I don't have an issue with this. It's basically the same it's always been. It's just, now that they broke it down and people are looking at it, they're reading into it, I think. The way I see it is I do agree with the core, because I mean, I'm looking at it like back home in Wisconsin. There's a lot of people there that can't afford internet. So if they are going to splurge to try to, get online, they're going to want to do it as cheap as they possibly can. Like my brother, he plays on Xbox. He doesn't play online. So it's just, there's a lot of people up there, because I come from a very, very poor rural area. People aren't going to waste money on Ultimate up there. So I can get it for it's just a different lifestyle than what, people like us, we pay for high speed internet and we get all the glams and sparkles. It's hard for us to picture how other people are living. You know what I mean? So I get it. Core makes sense for people who might not have the financial means to go and get all this other stuff. And they might not want to spend money on Ultimate, because they're like, okay, well, that means I'm getting stuff for PC as well, but I don't even have PC and I don't use cloud. So why am I spending money for features that I'm not going to use? Some people are going to look at it that way. So core makes sense. And then for the PC one, that makes sense, because when you think about, Xbox, I mean, yeah, Xbox has become this brand that's everywhere, but people still think of it as the console.
Right.
And they're trying to get people on the PC side into their ecosystem, because the majority of PC gamers are on Steam, or they're on, Epic stuff or whatever. So to try to draw them in to, pay to get access to the Xbox ecosystem, it makes sense that they're going to want to try to keep that down low. And having EA in there is enticing, because a lot of people are going to be already paying EA for stuff. So now they're like, okay, you know what? I can go over here and I can get all of Xbox's stuff, and I can keep my EA stuff. And that just works out. It's a way to try to bring in consumers on a platform that is majority on Steam. So they need to keep it enticing, because they don't have, it's just different over there. It makes sense to me. It makes sense to me.
No, I don't know. I just feel that core and console, because they're console products, both of them, they could both be the same product.
Well, all they've done is change the name. Everything's the same. The only thing,
that's a missed opportunity, in my opinion.
Okay, well, I think what they've done is defined a little bit better on what they have. Because gold has a bad rep of the bad games. So if you change the name, now it's a different product. And this is why everybody's freaking out. So the only thing that they did, instead of giving you two games that they have to sit there and figure out who's going to pay what and who's going to accept the, depending on, the money bag that they have in this pool, they can get rid of this part of the department and then just go ahead and go over to a curated section that's already a department of its own, and then take the 25 that will cycle in and out of there, right? So now what you've done is you've switched two basically identical products, but gave you a better value when it comes to being able to access games, right? So you 25 versus 2. Yes, you don't get to keep it, but again, if you cancel any of your subscriptions, those games with gold go away. You can't play them until you get back on. So it's the same difference as a mini Game Pass. Okay, so when you look at it like that, it's essentially the same thing. They just changed the name to make it more appealing. Those of us that have been around are yes, we admittedly go, if you're on console, you should have access to gold also, or, online also. But again, they're giving you two different things. And I agree with everything that Terry said. It is what it is. But you got to look at it again. There are three separate pieces. If you combine two, you might as well go ahead and get Ultimate, right? So no matter what you do, if you combine two, your better deal is combine Ultimate. And if you don't use it, you don't use it. Because who plays all 400 plus games in Game Pass? Nobody.
Nobody.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, does that mean you have to play it? Does it mean you're paying for nothing? No, you're paying for the accessibility of it. And gold gives you accessibility to PC. But guess what? You can also back and forth. How many you're playing on the cloud? So yeah, most people might not have desire to play on cloud, or desire to play on PC, or vice versa, desire to play on console. But it gives you those options if you do go for a cheaper price to get more. It's kind of like when McDonald's had the upsizing. Would you like to upsize this? And you look at it, you're like, for a few pennies more, I get a bigger drink, more fries. The sandwich is the same. Okay. Right? We're gluttonous like that. That's how we're designed. And this is just giving us a better value for games that we will never have access to, or I'm sorry, that we have access to that we'll never play, or a platform that, with air quotes, that most people might not want to play on, whether it's on PC or console. But you can pick and choose which one you want. But as soon as you pick two of those items, you might as well just go to Ultimate and be done with it.
Yeah, that's the thing. As soon as you pick two, you might as well go Ultimate.
Yeah. So I think
it's a better deal.
And again, that's what they want you to do. They want you to switch over to the Ultimate, because then it's just one piece. So instead of, because think about it, if they got rid of Core, we're just discussing right now the difference between Core, console, and PC, and then going to Ultimate, right? So they never, getting rid of gold, everybody's like, yes. But at the same time, if they would have got rid of everything that was in Core and put it into console, then there's no point in going to Ultimate.
And if you think about it, there are a lot of gamers out there that only play Call of Duty, or they only play FIFA. So why would they want to spend $17 a month if they're only going to play Call of Duty or FIFA?
Right?
They just want the online, so they're going to go for the core.
And with the 25 sample rate of mini Game Pass, all right, it could open up the door to get them to go to Ultimate, to spend an extra $16, or I'm sorry, an extra $6. I'm sorry, $7. My math is real rough this morning. But anyway, when you look at it, you could say, okay, well, for a little bit more, I can get that much more, even though I'm only a COD player.
Yeah.
So you got to look at it in specific ways, and I know I'm playing devil's advocate, which I do a lot, but I think part of it is we are so hyper focused on this one direction that we're not seeing the bigger picture for others, because what does it do for me? Nothing. Where are you at? I'm on Ultimate. So why do you care about Core? You see what I'm saying?
Because I want people to get addicted to it and upgrade to Ultimate eventually.
And that's what they're trying to do by switching out the bad games that you're getting with gold, changing the name, which has a bad rep to it, turning it into Core, and giving you 25 high quality games.
That's right.
So
let's check in with the chat real quick. Let's take a break before it escapes from me. Shout out to Noof Nukem, boom boom kaboom. He says, "Hi, Axel, Terry, and Dreadpool. What's going on?" Noof Nukem, thank you so much for joining us. You are the real MVP. Chad Walker say, "Only Core and Ultimate have a change." Yeah, I guess so. Ultimate still looks the same to me, from what I know. Fastback says, Core is a introduction starter for new Xbox gamers, kids, etc. If you want Game Pass, add console. If you want Game Pass PC, get Ultimate. So there you go. Tears of the Kingdom. Funny. That's funny. Doggy dog. I like it. Let's see. Some don't want Game Pass, so they'll get console. So they won't get console. Yeah, they'll get a Core probably. And Chair Walker is right. Core has a $60 a year option attached to it. That's right. I believe it's in the very first paragraph here. Yep, right here.
Yep.
Again, so it's still a good deal. You can still save 50% if you buy a year all at the same time of Game Pass Core.
So again, it's technically gold.
Yeah.
It is technically gold. All that
and just wait for like Black Friday and stack up on it.
Yep. Noof Nukem says, "I might just stick to Core after November." Hey, why not? It's an option. And Crazy Greek Dude says, "Good morning, all. Bit late, busy morning." Hey, thank you so much for joining us, Crazy Greek Dude. We appreciate you. You are the real MVP. Let's see. Caleb D. Shout out to Caleb D. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the real MVP. He says, "Been having Ultimate for a year. This is the way." Absolutely. This is the way. And Robbie Henriksen says, hello, Robbie Henriksen. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the real MVP. We appreciate you. Try Hard Fan joins us. Thank you so much for joining us. Try Hard Fan says, "Good morning, everyone." Good morning, Try Hard Fan. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. You are the real MVP. What is this profile picture? Oh my goodness. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, so moving back over here. But so that's the main difference to Game Pass. Not really a difference. Let's get to the big difference, right? But before we do, Terry, we had a poll. Can you read us the results?
Yes. Which Game Pass product do you pay for or want? 80% said Ultimate. And then it was an even split of 6% between Core, console, and PC.
Yeah, those guys, I think, fat fingered the wrong option.
Ultimate is such a good deal. But let's get to the big difference, and that is no more games with gold. It gets replaced with a curated selection, and I believe right now we're only up to 19 of the 25 games. I think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Let me highlight the 16th one. 17, 18, 19. Yeah, so 19 announced games. I was right. Okay. So let's go through it and see what we think. This is the Iconic Video Games meta review board here. If you think this game is worth playing or not, that's all we're going to say. We'll give it a yeah, it's worth, meh, or no way. We'll do the Dreadpool. The Dreadpool review. One by one. Are we ready, guys? I just want this. I think it'll be fun. All right. Among Us. We'll start with Terry. Terry, Among Us.
Meh.
Yeah, meh. All right. Dreadpool, Among Us.
Well, you got some good friends. Yeah.
Yeah. Among Us, I'm with Terry. Meh, because it depends on the friends. With strangers, no way. All right. Descenders. Do we need to look this game up? Anybody?
It's a mountain bike game.
Oh, yeah. It's the mountain bike game. Yeah, the really popular one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Terry, Descenders.
Meh. I mean, I played it. I mean, it's a good game, but I mean, this is going to be a very niche game, so meh.
Okay, meh. Dreadpool?
As good a quality the game was, meh. I played it and it just didn't. Played it for probably a good hour, trying to force myself to stay on it. So it was one of those things. Meh.
Yeah, same here. Meh. It's already there.
I feel
Dishonored 2. This one from what's an Arcane studio game, Dishonored 2. Terry.
I don't know. I couldn't get into Dishonored, so for me, it's meh.
All right, Dreadful.
For those that like the first-person storytelling that they do with these, if you like him, yeah.
I played Dishonored 2. It's amazing. Yeah, for me. Too, yeah. All right. Doom Eternal, Game of the Year nominee, Doom Eternal. Cool Cat Terry.
Ugh. No.
No, all right.
I only recommend the soundtrack. That's it.
Yeah, should we change our rating system, seeing as it is Game Pass? Like if we want to play it, like game on, meh, or pass.
For me, it's a hard pass.
All right, pass. All right, Dreadful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
right, me too. Game on.
Yeah,
I'm with Dreadful on this one.
Yeah.
All right. Try Hard Fan says, I only played Dishonored 1 and Doom 1. Don't care for the sequels. Man, you got to play them. They're so much better than the original, except for the soundtrack on Doom
I'll
Eternal.
tell you
the
what,
original
though.
Doom soundtrack was better.
I'll tell you what, though. Dishonored series, I couldn't get into them at first. It took me a while to get into them.
No way. I was
I tried
instantly.
I restarted on Dishonored 1 twice, like years apart, and I got to like the same point in it, and I was like, meh, and I moved on. I don't know. Like, I love like first-person story, like narrative-driven games. I love stealthy games, but I just Dishonored just never could reel me in.
I think you just weren't assassinating people the fun way.
What? No, because like I like, and it's just I don't know. There's something about it. It just couldn't captivate me.
The powers are amazing in it.
I'd rather go play Sticks.
Fable Anniversary, game on, meh, or pass?
Game on.
Game on. All right.
Game on.
Dreadful?
Well, you know what I'm going to say. Hells yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Fable Anniversary, play it. Game on. Absolutely. Fallout 4.
Yes, game on.
Game on. All right. Dreadful.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one is you know what? Game on. Game on.
You got to get into it.
Yeah, game on. You know, it added a lot of mechanics that I didn't care for, but the core game, I didn't have to do those mechanics. The core game was still there and awesome.
I enjoyed it. The base building and like the protecting of the base was the only thing that I couldn't care about. But
yes, thank you, Terry. Yes, exactly.
I didn't want that in there, so I ignored it. Like if they raided my base, I'm like, good, take it. I don't want it anyway. You can have it. And I kept doing my thing.
Right. Fallout 76, Terry.
Meh, that's a nah. I couldn't get into that. Not for me. So no.
All right. Dreadful.
I played with Forkboy Wilmy and Leo, and I actually had a good time with it. So, and this is when it was broken.
Oh,
and it's better now. So I'm gonna say meh on that one because it's in between. You know what I mean? So if you're not into Fallout, it's definitely not gonna do it for you. And if you have friends, again, it'll be better. So I'm gonna give it a meh.
For me, if they didn't have that online factor of random people, you know, trolling you, I would love it because I always wanted a co-op Fallout. I love Fallout. The co-op part is great. Once you start having randoms getting involved in what you're trying to do, ruins it. So that's why I can't stand it. I just want to play with my friends, and everybody else can go F off. Okay, I just want to play with my friends.
That's what I was saying about Starfield.
No.
Give me a co-op.
No co-op. Let me roam space in peace. Fallout 36 is a hard pass for me. Pass. I'm not into Fallout as much as Terry is into Fallout, obviously, but Fallout 76, no NPCs. The story is all just you. The only interactions is what you get with other gamers. And at that, you know, if you don't religiously play this game, you're gonna get wrecked. It's a hard pass. No way. Let's check in with the chat real quick. I still have to finish Doom Eternal, even though I won it in a giveaway at launch. It's a hard game, man. Let's see. The list is a good collection for people new to the service. Yeah. This is a decent list of games for core, and more will be added throughout the year. Yeah, once they get Activision. So yeah, by the way, guys, feel free to tell us what you think of any of these games on here. We appreciate what you guys have to say. Forza Horizon 4, Terry.
I would say yeah. It's, if you're into racing, it's a good quality racing game. I mean, it's not. I prefer other ones, but it's a good one. It's a good one to play. So I'll definitely game on. Have fun.
Have fun, Dribble.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I'll say yeah as well. Even though Forza Horizon 5 came out, I still have way more hours on Forza Horizon 4 than I do on 5. It's still great.
We had the greatest time with Forza Horizon 4.
We do, but Forza Horizon 5 is where you turned into Mr. Bumper Car.
Nah, that's you ran into your own rock.
Yeah, after you ran into me. Anyways, moving on the list along. Gears 5, Terry.
Yeah, game on. Gears is awesome.
All right.
Good stuff.
Dread.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially if you're Ultimate. You get that free expansion.
That's right. You get the Hive Busters expansion.
Yeah. I was really hoping that they would do more of that, like they did with Hive Busters. The other games would have, their certain bonus content to be available only if you had Ultimate, that you wouldn't have to pay for all this because it was part of it.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was going that direction, but definitely still, without that, it's still a great game. Definitely.
It's fantastic. Yeah. Gears 5, my favorite Gears by far. I won't say story-wise. I would say that 2 and 3 were way better on story, but it is definitely like if Gears 2 and 3 are like 100 or 100% on story, this one is like a 95. It's that good still.
I enjoy it.
But gameplay-wise, Gears 5 is the tightest controlling, best weapon feel. A horde mode, the most fun horde mode I've had since Gears 2. It is phenomenal. And the best looking Gears by far. And Gears is always a showcase.
I like that you get to play in the sunshine because all the other Gears are always underground, like the entire game. So you get to see
get that
sunshine.
brown and gray going. Get that brown and gray going, Terry.
So it's good.
Back from the Dead says Starfield Call would be interesting to hunt down Axel with Dread. You never catch me.
Yep.
You'd never catch me.
Oh, we'd find you.
You wouldn't have catch. You might find me, but doesn't mean you'll catch me.
I've got a certain set of skills.
Could you imagine if they had
come down? What's his name?
Liam Neeson.
What's that actor's name?
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson. Yeah, come down, Liam Neeson.
Could you imagine if they had the co-op and they made it like Sea of Thieves, so like someone could steal your ship and leave you stranded on some like deserted planet? That'd be hilarious.
That would suck.
It'd suck for you, but it'd be hilarious.
People would restart.
Like this stole their ship.
No, man. So many people would quit instantly.
With the true pirate game, like, oh, there's some people on that planet. Quick, they're over there, getting, materials. Let's take their ship.
I'd be like, I'm not going to steal your ship, but I am stealing your fuel. Bye.
I wonder if it'd be anything like Ice Pirates. Never mind.
The most rage-inducing game ever.
Oh my god. Fallout 76 has changed a lot with NPCs, and many do help you out.
They added NPCs.
I don't know if I'll play it still. That ship has sailed. I only played 9 hours of Forza Horizon 4. It was pretty good though. It was amazing. Yeah. I'm still waiting on a Gears Remastered or Remake collection. Maybe someday. Gears of War Ultimate is out, so they already remastered the first one. And it's pretty good. It's a pretty good remaster. It looks good. Believe it or not, I never played the original Gears of War until the Ultimate came out.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
I finished Gears 2 and 3 before I played Gears 1.
Wow.
So yeah, that's the way it went for me. Grounded, the survival gardening game.
Yeah, I mean, if you're into survival games, this is a great one. So like, go for it. Have some fun. Like this, it has co-op. Every good game should have co-op. but yeah, go for it. Have some fun.
All right, Dread.
That's a guaranteed play. You got to say yes.
I love playing this game. I've only played this game once, and I played it with my niece and my nephew, and I had such a good time playing with them. It's cute. It's adorable. We can each go do our own thing, kill some stink bugs. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
It
I'll say
adds so much to it too. Like there's a lot.
It's got layers upon layers upon layers.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I built a base. I found a tube in the yard that had a broken inlet to it. So I built a base inside there so nothing would get to me. It rained. The water rose and destroyed my whole base. All my work down the drain, literally. And it was like a 4 or 5 hour base building expedition for me,
Mm.
And it all got ruined. So we went somewhere drier. Yeah. So there you go. Let's see. Shout out to Dragonheart Yobi for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us, Dragonheart. We appreciate you. You are the real MVP. Halo 5 Guardians. Terry.
Ass.
You're freaking you. How did I know it? Dreadful.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go with as well. It's still a great game. Halo Wars 2. Terry.
Ass. Wait, is that the tactics one?
No. You're thinking of Gears Tactics. Halo Wars is real-time strategy.
Oh, it's RTS. Double pass.
Dreadful.
I'm going to say meh because it is a dying genre that hasn't been able to come back.
You're a dying genre.
I didn't say no.
I love
I'm
Halo Wars 2.
RTSs, man. I can't.
I'm going to say, I love Halo Wars 2. And if you know me, as I said, I bought a PC specifically for RTS. At the time, it was Command & Conquer. I cut my teeth on RTS. Some people just can't think straight, can't think 10 moves ahead.
No, we were playing Warcraft and StarCraft.
I played Command & Conquer came out before Warcraft and StarCraft, but I played those too.
I was playing those too, but I'm just saying that was the main. When it came to RTS, that was the high of RTS was Warcraft and StarCraft.
I would say that StarCraft was probably the high, but when Command & Conquer when Command & Conquer Generals came out, the fact that EA did not continue that trend because it was so good. Like even PC Gamer said, Return of the King on this one, because it was so good. Generals should have been a franchise on its own.
All I got to say is zug.
I see. Hellblade, Sonoa Sacrifice. Terry.
Pass.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
I could go on a day rant of all the things that I had issues with for that game. So no.
Dreadful.
Pass.
That's a yeah.
That's a for me too. I don't know what
you gotta play with headphones too. You can't just play on TV unless you got a kick-ass surround sound.
Yeah, it's something. By the way, guys, nothing against Terry. Terry likes what she likes, and I love that she's so strong-willed about what she likes and is unapologetic about it. I just like teasing her. Human Fall Flat. Terry.
Game of the year. No, I'm kidding. I mean, it's not for me, but a lot of people, if you have a good group of friends and you just want to, have something to screw around in, you can have a lot of good fun with it. So have some fun. It's great, especially if you have kids. It's a good game to mess around with if you have kids.
All right. Dreadful?
Oh, it's a great game with friends. When you want to break away from the norm of most games, it's definitely a unique game of its own. So yeah.
All right.
It's a
I'm going to go with a pass.
Yes.
I'm going to go with a pass on this one because I was so annoyed. I played with my nephews. Again, love my nephews. But God, man, if you want to play a game that will infuriate you because you know what to do, but your nephew wants to go do something else and the physics is stupid and he wants to do it even though he barely understands physics. And love you, nephews, but dang, when you guys were young, were you annoying with this game? That's all I'll say. Try Hard Fan says, I usually enjoy walking sims, but I was bored with Hellblade.
Me too.
And Hellblade 2 is fire. We'll get to that one here in a minute. Inside.
Yes. Play it.
That's right.
Play
Dreadful.
it.
Oh yes, definitely play it. It's a good little story.
I'll say play it. It's a weird story, but play it. It leaves you thinking, what the hell just happened? Like you have to think about what you're doing or what you're seeing. You can't just think about the puzzles. You have to think of what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and Chaya Walker is right. He says the list is only 19 games, so there are 6 unannounced games for it. Yeah, I think they're going to be Activision games, personally. Let's see. Ori and the Will of the Wisp. Terry.
If you're into that kind of style with the side scrolling and stuff, then yeah, it's a must play. For me, I can't play these games, so it's a pass.
All right. Dreadpool.
I'm going to say, yeah, it's a beautiful game. I just, it's one of those games too. If you leave too long and you can't remember how to go where, but yeah, if you just keep on playing it, it's a great game. So yeah,
I finished this game in 2 days, not even 2 full days. I'm talking like maybe a couple of I love this game and I couldn't get enough of it. I wish it was longer. Shout out to Moon Studios for making one of the greatest games of the Xbox One generation. Ori's amazing. Ori and the Forbidden Forest was good. Ori and the Will of the Wisp did everything that game did, only better. And the only thing that kept it from getting perfect scores was that it had some slowdown, some pause glitches. But of course, they fixed that with an update. And talk about smooth. This game would have probably been a perfect 10 if it wasn't for those pause glitches.
I feel bad for your wife. Those 2 days, she was totally ignored.
You're not lying. She was. It's so funny because when this game came out, my wife had we just started living together in my small apartment, right? We weren't married yet. We were, when did Ori and the Will of the Wisp release? February, March? We might have been freshly married. One of the two, right? Because we only moved in together right before we like a month before we got married. And you're not kidding. Like, I would come home, eat dinner, and just play my game. And my poor wife, she hadn't, she thought that it would be super romantic living together and we would be cuddling and doing stuff together. Nope. just played Ori and the Will of the Wisp. Shout out to my wife for putting up with my gaming habit. I understand. Shout out to her for being so amazing and so understanding. Love you so much. But yeah, the Ori and the Will of the Wisp, when this came out, you're not kidding. For 2 days, I did not pay attention to her.
You better have bought her some flowers.
Oh, I bought her lots of stuff. And she still hasn't forgiven me.
30 Gucci bags later. Nope, no forgiveness.
No forgiveness. No, my wife doesn't. I feel that my wife doesn't hold grudges like that. If she does, she internalizes them. Let's see. I love Hellblade. The sound production is worth the download. Absolutely graphic god, no lies detected. Yeah, Ori 2 launched with technical issues, but not game breaking. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely try hard fan, but man, what a fantastic journey that was. Amazing. Psychonauts 2, Terry.
Yeah, play it. I believe the first game, my opinion is the first game is 10 times better than the second one, but it's still good enough to, to play through it. So have at it. Enjoy it. It's fun.
All right. Dreadpool.
No, I'm kidding. Yes, definitely. Yes. It's a good game.
And I say, yeah, it was up there for one of my game of the years. And I don't review many games and put out videos of reviews, but this is one of them. So it was that good. State of Decay 2. Terry.
Yes.
Unbelievable. this lady. It's a co-op game, Terry.
But it's zombies. Pass.
All right, Dreadpool. It's a zombie game.
Yeah.
All right. I love The Walking Dead, and State of Decay 2 is the closest to a Walking Dead simulator I can get. And I played it with my friends, and I love the glitches. Like, for some reason, I don't know, we were going back to base. I was driving. I hit a rock. We fly off the mountain, and now we're stranded without a car in like one of the most infected parts of the map, trying to find a car to get out of there. That is my favorite State of Decay 2 story, and it was awesome and fun. And yeah, there you go. So yeah, for me. And RWK says, "Does Terry like any game?" Of course, she said yeah many times. Yeah.
They only hear the pass. That's all they hear. They tune out for everything else. Oh, that's another pass. We're gonna, mark that tally down.
All right, and Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited.
Absolutely love this game. I play, I don't know, I got like over 1,000 hours on it between PC and Xbox. I played it so many times. There's so many expansions I still haven't played. Like, this game is so good. It's so good.
Are you gonna play Necrom?
Break that out, WK. I highly approve of ESO.
Are you gonna play Necrom?
I haven't even played the other ones. Like,
forget those other ones. Those don't matter anymore. Those are last year's add-ons.
I started. Necrom. What was it? Was it the Shimmering Isle? I don't even know. Like, I started on like some of them, and I have a hard time getting into MMOs because you need to dedicate everything to play an MMO. So, like, for me, I don't like playing one game for very long because I get bored. I like to jump around.
What class do you play?
I have a what do you call it? It's an N. It's like knight something. It's the dual wielding, like, I forgot what they call it. It's been a while since I played it. But yeah, I play like a dual wielding rogue.
Okay.
So, man, so good. Such a good game. I
only play on PC.
Yeah, it's like tongue-tied. I've played it a lot on PC. And I have different character, I think, on PC. No, I didn't. I think I transferred my PC character over to Xbox. So I might have done that. I think I did. I think I transferred my character over. So I don't know what I got on PC. But yeah, no, I highly recommend it. This game's phenomenal. And if you like MMOs, this is a good one. And it's not one of those where you're going to, like, your life is going to get taken away from you, like if you like other MMOs, so it's still, there's a lot to do. And you're definitely going to want to have a group because there's a lot of, like, world stuff that you can't do by yourself. But you can play enough of the game solo to where you can still have a good time.
Yeah. Dreadpool, The Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited.
I'm going to say meh.
Okay.
Only because there's just so much to do. I've played several different times. I'm still stuck on the, getting out of the cavern and on the first map, just running around having a good time. But it's a meh. You got to get so involved, and who's got time for a lot of these things, And unfortunately, I've got gaming ADD when it comes to all this. You know what I mean? So it's like, and I've gone back to it. So I know people love it. People, some people are on the fence with it, and that's where I'm at. It's more of a meh.
Yeah, like that's how I am. Like, I love the game, but I need to complete games. And MMOs, there is no end. It just keeps going and going and going. They always add more stuff. So it's never like, okay, this game's done, moving on. It's like, oh, more stuff.
But you got to pay for it. This is the free version. This is the base game.
It's only the first area, which is like still like 10 zones.
Yeah.
It's massive still.
Yeah, you can easily get over 50 hours just doing that.
Now you notice out of all these 19, for myself, there has never been a no.
Right. Yeah, that is
Terry,
true.
You look at what Terry did, and I'd say 1% would be a no for Terry.
It's okay.
I think there was no.
Terry likes what she likes. Stop trying to change her.
No, I'm just saying. No. It's just, but you see, overall, we have differing opinions.
Yeah, I love that.
And yet again, most of these games hit. Whether or not they're a yes, they're at least it's a try something.
Yeah. And shout out to RWK88. He says they are at the beach and he's going to get out of here. Thank you so much for joining us. But the Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited, I recommend it. This is the one I have because I'm not paying for the expansions. And I have been able to go on raids. I've been able to do dungeons. I've been able to get epic armors. But Necrom has me so interested. I'm like, am I going to pay for Necrom? And I play an orc tank. And Terry, if you know, on raids, a tank gets blamed more than anybody if you don't keep that aggro on. Right? So your DPSs can do what they do.
I always found people always blame the healer. Healer could be...
In my group, we have no healers. We have tanks.
The healers are always the ones that get blamed. Like, you didn't heal me. Like, well, you were halfway across the freaking arena. How am I supposed to heal you? Stay with the group.
I love it. I love being a tank. I love being a crucial part. Like, What I love about Elder Scrolls, when you do the raids, I'm not talking like a simple dungeon. I'm talking like a raid with an end boss, right? That end boss, everybody has to do their sequence properly. And if you don't, it ruins it for everybody. But the best way to run around Elder Scrolls is double tank, baby. For some reason, double tank just it's the easiest you've ever done a raid in your life if you have 2 tanks. Because even if they get another, some of them summon other ads, and sometimes those ads are very powerful as well, and it ruins it. If you have a double tank, guess what your other tank can do? He can take that ad away, go somewhere else. You can force the aggro. So yeah, I love it. Different opinions are fun. They absolutely are. This list of games is a good mix of genre, first party and third party. Absolutely. Always play MMO solo, so nobody blames me for anything. There you go. So Xbox Game Pass is changing to Xbox Game Pass Core, whether you agree with it or not. I think it's a missed opportunity. Dreadpool has no issues with it. We all agree on the games. It's a good mix of games. Terry is kind of also okay with it.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah. So Game Pass has changed over to Xbox Game Pass Core. But with that being said, guys, we're going to move the show along on to Terry's Indie Spotlight.
Once again, I am bringing you another great indie spotlight. This game came out, I think, about a year, maybe 2 years ago. I think 2 years ago. So if you haven't played this one, give it a little sneak peek here, and you'll see if it piques your interest. So let's check this out.
Did it end?
Did what end?
The war. Did the war end?
I don't really know. Hello? Is anyone out there?
Hi.
Who are you?
My name's Eva.
My name is Shimon. Where are you?
I've been locked in here for I don't know how long, and I'm getting really scared.
My mom passed away recently.
And now you're looking for the man in the picture.
I saw Nazi flags hanging here in the picture I found. The Poles must have burned them when they took over.
Whoa, this place is a mess.
What happened here?
The storm rages on the surface. We are whipped back and forth by the gale, but our values remain unchanged. Our fathers, our mothers, they all shed their blood for principles. Today, so too will we shed our blood. But this time, we shall conquer and seize our future.
Święta Maryjo, Matko Boża, módl się za nami grzesznymi, teraz i w godzinę śmierci naszej. Amen.
All right, you guys. Paradise Lost. It's a narrative adventure, walking sim game. It's got a really deep story. Hold on, my YouTube is playing something else in my ear. Okay, so it's got a very deep story. So if you're into like a walking sim stuff, then this was one to put on your list. The quick synopsis is World War II didn't end when it was supposed to end. It dragged on for another 20 years, and the Nazis ended up getting hold of nuclear weapons, and they completely destroyed Europe. And basically, it's the last story on Earth is what you're playing through, because the world is toast. the Nazis brought on like nuclear winter on the planet. So you go ahead and you're playing as a 12-year-old boy in Poland who has discovered this old abandoned bunker. And you're trying to find this man in this picture that your mother, she cherished this picture, and she passed away. So you're trying to find this mysterious man to try to figure out who he is. Maybe he's your father. You don't know who he is. At the same time, you're learning about what happened in this bunker, what happened to the inhabitants, and you're watching everything unfold. So it's a really good story. So go ahead and check it out. It's $15. It's on every platform. So Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, PC, wherever you want to play, go ahead and check it out.
There you go. Another fantastic indie spotlight from the incredible, very picky Terry. All right. Let's move the show along onto some trash Twitter that happened. As I like to call
says it sounds like Fallout. It's Fallout reverse. Instead of you being from the vault and leaving, you're coming from outside the vault and going in.
There you go. So there was a game release or a trailer released for PS5 a year ago from a studio called what's the name of the studio? Team Killer Media. And the name of the game was Quantum Error. It's a horror first-person shooter game. And, you know, it's neither here nor there for me, right? The game. But what brought Quantum Error to the spotlight that news outlets are picking it up, and Jess Gordon from Windows Central ended up talking about it, is that, hold on, let me find my thing here, is that they decided to use console wars as their marketing strategy. Because so what it was they were doing a Q&A on Twitter talking about Quantum Error, and they said, oh, the PS5 is going to be the way to play. That SSD is amazing. The Xbox SSD is just too slow for the game. Right? And that in itself is, okay, whatever, right? It's an indie game, whatever. But then they started tweeting fanboy nonsense, retweeting fanboy nonsense to it. And that was the Quantum Error this marketing manager made, is the fact that he started retweeting people bashing Xbox. Instead of he mistook people hyping the game to people bashing Xbox. So Quantum Error got the fanboys, because PlayStation has fanboys, Xbox has fanboys. So the fanboys flocked over to Quantum Error. I came in for the show, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing from a company who intends their game to be multi-platform, retweeting tweets that bash a platform. And so they have gone on a backtracking ride since then. And man, once you get fanboys in, they don't go away. They're like, I don't know, they're like cockroaches. Once they move in, they don't move out, Once they check in, they don't check out. And so what got to me, and I'm going to share my tweet because I don't think I said anything inappropriate, but if you think it's inappropriate, I'm sorry. So Quantum Error here. So they put out two tweets. They said Quantum Error, and somebody was saying, wow, it looks so good. Wow, be careful. Microsoft might buy you. And they say, can't buy what isn't for sale. Laughing emojis, right? But then somebody said, your studio should become part of Sony's PlayStation Studios. It would be a nice interaction and maybe addition to funding the Quantum Error game. And they're like, that would be awesome. So they're not hiding their fanboyism, right? And so I wrote down that, I don't believe these developers concerned about Xbox or Xbox gamers. They went on a 24-hour Xbox bash-a-thon to market their game. They better hope it gets a 90-plus Metascore so their dreams can come true. Right? Let's just talk about these few tweets. Am I the only one that thinks what I just saw? Am I correct in believing this, that they're not even hiding it? Terry?
I don't know. I don't know. It does look that way. Like, clearly they would, they think it's cool to, possibly be under the umbrella of one company versus the other. But I don't know. It's text has no tone. So you don't, just looking at it, we're going to put our own tone to it, with you can't buy what isn't for sale and then laughing. I mean, yeah, you could easily interpret that as them, making fun and mocking, Microsoft. Like we would never, be under you guys. But, we don't really know what they really truly meant. They could, honestly, if they're not for sale, I mean, it's true. You can't buy what isn't for sale. So they could be laughing at the person, not at the fact that, not at Microsoft. We don't really know. I don't like to read into stuff because we don't really know.
All right. But emojis are intended to, I mean, it's literally in the name, emotion,
Yeah, but again, like I said, you don't know what they're laughing at. Are they laughing at the fact that, are they laughing at Microsoft, or are they laughing at the guy who's like, Microsoft might buy you? They might be laughing at that guy. Okay. So like, again, you can't really interpret it proper. We don't really know.
Yeah. Dreadful, any thoughts on this particular set of exchanges?
I think they hired the greatest marketing troll, because if you think about it, it's gotten their game. I didn't even know who they were.
Didn't know about their game till 2 days
all this
ago.
blew up. Yeah, all this blew up. I had no idea who these people were. I didn't know about this game, and my family's into horror, so something like this would interest us. And never hearing about it, never knowing anything about it, it caught our attention. But again, like you said, the way that they went about it comes across, and granted, I don't care. I've got both systems. I can play it anywhere I want. But the way it comes across, it does come across snarky like that. You know what I'm saying? And Terry's right. When it comes to text, the nuances are not there as if it was vocally spoken. So you don't know what the intent was, but we do know that there is intent to get attraction because of what they did got eyes on their game. So again, probably one of the greatest marketing strategies for a troll to do.
We'll see if it pays off.
I mean, the Inquirer, right? Back in the 80s, 90s, Inquirer and all those other sensationalizing, magazines and newspapers. Stallone had something, or Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dolly Parton, back in those days. People were looking at it while they were checking out, and some people bought into the lies or the misleads that they would do.
Yeah. And it is what marketing works. Sensationalism works. Right. Fastback says, agrees with Dreadpool here. The devs are just creating TMZ for attention to their game. Yeah. Dragonheart Yobi says, I saw it and I don't care about the game. I wasn't checking for it anyway. And the fact. Yep. And he basically says the same thing here again. Let's see. Tryhard Fan says, I completely forgot about the game until this situation. I didn't even know it existed. And Jez Corden, a Windows Central, very well respected figure in the Xbox circle. He says, console war is a marketing strategy. Let's see if it pays off. Yeah. And you can see people are upset. And the studio is small. It was started by 4 brothers. They're only using one development PC. So it is a small studio. But they also issued a backtrack almost. So again, this all came out over the PS5 SSD being faster than the Xbox SSD, and that's just factual. Right? But they said that their game can't run on Xbox because the SSD is too slow. So let's move it forward, right? They said, we want to set the record straight that answering a question honestly was in no way us bashing Xbox for anything. All we did was point out the current issue we have come across and that we will have to spend more time to fix it. A different platform may require different solutions. Nothing wrong with that. We will not release the Xbox version until it is ready and want Xbox fans to enjoy the game experience and quality as much as PS5 fans. Also, the gameplay footage being thrown around is 2 years old. It was running on Unreal Engine 4. We are now using Unreal Engine 5, and the game has changed and has vastly improved since the footage. And again, the issue is not them stating a fact. The issue, the quantum error, is the retweeting of fanboy tweets. And what I showed you was just one of them. I mean, there were hundreds. A lot of them have been deleted now, so I can't get them anymore. But they were all there. Let me see. Actually, I bookmarked a ton of them. Let me see if I still have them on my bookmarks. Because how do I access my bookmarks on Twitter? Anybody know how to do that on? Here we go. Let's see.
To me, it kind of sounds like.
Here we go. Like this tweet here. Sorry, Terry.
Go ahead.
So this is not just, this is bashing at this point, right? So he says, unlike the power of the cloud, the power of the SSD is real. A fast SSD makes a massive difference. Right? Let's see. What do we got here?
Oh, I was muted this whole time. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was telling you how to look up a bookmarks. I'm like, it's right there. Yeah. Thanks for ignoring me.
Hey, you're welcome.
But yeah, a fast SSD. All right. Now, once you get to a certain speed, it's called diminishing returns.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yes, it's a little bit faster. But guess what? Even in PC, when you go with an NVMe Generation 4 to a Generation 5,
which it's what the PS5 has, is a Gen 5.
Yeah, the PCIe.
Yeah,
it's not that much faster. I mean, yes, it's almost double the speed, but at this point in time, whoopee-doo. And Xbox is using a different technology with their SSD going directly to the CPU, so it's not going across the what was it, the South Bridge, and then into. So it's not basically going through the motherboard back to the CPU and all that. So the speed is great.
The controller.
Yeah. So again, the speeds are great when you look at them in just plain numbers, but when you look at how they're put together, there's the difference. So reality, it's just diminishing returns. It's great to say that it's got this and that, just like, oh wait, Ratchet and Clank was only playable on the PS5 because the SSD had so much power. And guess what? It's on PC right now.
Let's not forget about Godfall.
And you can play it on a hard drive. So again, it's people choosing narratives. I would not look into it that much as a big difference, like they are saying. They're just using these fanboy metrics that have, nothing to do with anything. When a game is optimized, it will look great no matter where you put it, as long as you optimize wherever you put it.
Yeah. So,
sorry,
Terry, you had something to say. Yeah.
This is what I think happened, because they are a small group, 4 bros, making a game together.
Yeah.
Okay, they're not a big corporation that has a marketing team and a legal team and everybody, crossing their I's and dotting their I's and crossing their T's, to make sure they say the right stuff. I think they have the 4 brothers. They put one of the brothers in charge of the social media, and that guy's a fanboy, and he went off. The other brothers are like, what the heck you doing? They probably, roughed him up a bit, and they're like, we got to take control of this because you just put us in the fire, man. And they, tried to, make it more professional. So that's what I think happened. I feel like, with a team that small, one person, you may not necessarily speak for the other brothers. He has his views, and he was sharing his views, and now he basically possibly tanked the company, when it comes to the Xbox side. So who knows? But that's what I think. I think one brother went rogue, and the other brothers, kind of had to, take control here, because it was a dumpster fire.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, the fanboy backlash has started. That's just a route you never want to go as a social media person. And big companies, they engage in fanboyism too. But theirs is more marketing, proper marketing, not like trolling. But here we go. Gaming Tech says, So what is it about the SSD that in the Xbox that's too slow to run this game? Sorry, but that is BS. Yes, the PS5 SSD is faster, and yes, some games on the PS5 have incredibly fast loading times. But Xbox can read a minimum of 2.4 gigabytes per second. Don't tell me that's not enough. And have you seen this video? Do you guys want to see this video?
Yeah, just keep the sound off so you don't get dinged.
All right, here we go. Oh my God, I really had it muted. There we go. And so this is the video that they're showing off, right? For this, and it's not terrible looking, right? And keep in mind, this is not released yet. This is not gone gold.
That looked like them. It looked like the Mako. Just putting that out there.
Yeah. And you want to talk about the PlayStation SSD. This can't run on Xbox. That claim again, right? That has been debunked so many times now. There's the claim that it can't run on Xbox, and I watched this whole 5-minute trailer and I am unimpressed, if I'm being honest. Right. So yeah. So far. Anyways, if you're gonna start console warring saying that this game is so technically awesome that it cannot run on an Xbox, your game better be actually technically awesome, not badly optimized, which is, after watching this video, I can tell nothing against the brothers. They're not like professional game coders. They're indie developers. But it sounds more of an optimization issue than it is an SSD issue, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just saying. When I'm thinking of SSD loading times graphics, I'm thinking of things loading in and out so fast, things moving around, or texture changes. That was the big sell on the SSD was, these textures can change, or you can load whole new levels, and so on, without loading screens.
Don't forget those elevators.
Elevators will be a thing of the past.
Yeah. So all that wait time was so that way they could load the next levels.
Yeah.
I like that they have you can switch between first and third. That's cool.
It is cool. And like I said, the game might be awesome. I hope it's awesome, because after all the
looks like he has a smiley face in the back of his helmet
that they've done, I'm unsure.
From what I can,
looks like a smiley face. I'm sorry, I can't stop looking at his helmet, because when he tilts his head back, it's a smiley face.
Yeah, that's what I thought so too.
That's what it looks like. It's Cartarno on the back of his head.
That's right. People are saying that this takes a lot of cues from Callisto Protocol, Callisto, right? And Dead Space.
Yeah.
People are calling it Dead Space SSD. That's a cool looking bad guy. I'm not gonna lie. I love the flying bad guys. I love and hate them at the same time. This guy has zero awareness. Like, he keeps getting snuck up on by bad guys.
Seems to be a pretty broad variety of enemies in this one spot.
Yeah.
So again, I'm looking at it, and nothing here hails that it has to be on an SSD.
And that's what people are saying, right? Like, if you're going to make a claim, and here's the BFG from Doom.
Can I ask what quality are we watching this at?
This is Twitter quality.
So the game could technically look a little bit better than what it is.
Yeah, but
the explosions look nice. They're basic. The bullets going out, the damage, the shrapnel. The enemies are very basic. At least they have a variety to them.
Mm-hmm.
But it just, I mean, that that
there's
part
nothing here that can't be done on my Xbox 360.
Right.
And my Xbox One, I should say.
Even the PS3 could do this, so again, it doesn't have to be a console war thing. It just, I don't see anything that would say that this is anything special.
That's the problem with it. Like if you're gonna go on a console war tirade with your unreleased game and bash an entire platform, like you're an indie studio, I would think that you would always want to have the door open to other platforms.
You don't want to burn bridges.
That's the key. That's what I was going to say. A lot of this stuff has to be.
Xbox will have no problem saying, no, you can't come to our console.
Yeah, this would be a great game for Xbox, but it's just you're potentially burning bridges.
It's a great game to be multiplayer. It doesn't have to be Xbox or PlayStation.
Yeah,
it can be a great game on Switch too if you really look at it. Just in general, it could be a great game. However, you need when you're in the market of being a third party dev, right? And Terry, you know what I'm talking about. You need to mind your P's and Q's if you want to get out there.
You gotta put your own biasness aside. You gotta think of it as a business. Like you might have your preferences for where you play your game, but as a business, you kind of want people from all of those other places to enjoy your game. Unless you're making an exclusive, you kind of you know what I mean? You want as many people as possible to hopefully play it.
Tryhard Fan even says it's right there. It's important to be humble.
Yeah.
You gotta. You can't blacklist yourself.
Yeah.
Like the way they just did. And they had, before this part of it, they had already pretty much blacklisted themselves in the first place before all of this. And I think this is why they had no qualms with doing what they did.
Now, this isn't the first game from Team Kill Media, by the way, guys. They did release a different game. Hold on, let me zoom my Internet Explorer out. They have released a game called Kings of Lorne, The Fall of Eberus? Anybody heard of that game? Anybody? Terry?
I have not.
Well, let's just take a look at how good of a development studio we have here.
This was a game that they made before this Quantum one?
Yes.
So we can at least see if there's been any growth in their skill.
It's a PS4 game. So hold on, I want us all to take this in, right? Share this tab instead. Add this here. All right, here we go. Kings of Lorne, The Fall of Eberus. No rating. A 6.4 user score on PS4.
Based on 13 ratings. Nice. 13 ratings. Plays.
True Gaming, the only review, gave it a 65.
That's actually really good for an indie, especially if this is your first game. Is this the first game that they released?
This is the first game they released. So
then a 65 is very impressive.
Scroll down again for a second.
Where? Here?
Yeah, scroll down.
Yeah.
All right, so Roy Mango and AFW are brothers. And then...
they are? You know these guys?
I don't know.
I was going to say, what?
They review bombed themselves into a good score. No, I'm just kidding. It's just funny how it's a buggy mess versus no major technical issues. So,
and let's not forget in our 1994X, and Tutsnid das Spiel wird unfertig.
Okay, can you translate that, please, from
It doesn't
German?
work.
It doesn't work?
Yeah.
You can't put that in like a Google Translator?
Wow. TLDR? All right, hold on. Let me put this first sentence in there.
I see freezes.
Let me go to Google Let me go to translate.
Yeah, translate, please.
Yes, hold on. Chinese. No, I want it in English. All right, let me put it in.
This is how you know we're definitely live.
I want to know what he's saying. I think it's German, right?
It's still fake. Okay, here we go. It is from what? It doesn't even tell me what language it's from.
Dutch. Look up Dutch.
Hold on, let me see. Share this tab. Okay, auto detect. German detected.
I thought so.
Disappointing. The game seems unfinished. The presentation of the videos is good, and the graphics in the game itself are not bad either.
Wait, how can you go and say that the presentation, the video is good, and the graphics in the game are good, or not bad? But I don't know. He's
The
kind of
presentation of the videos. I think they're advertisement.
Yeah, maybe the advertising. It's lost in translation. Okay, Terry.
I don't know. It sounds like a contradiction.
Because it says the videos are good, but the
all right, here we go. The combat system is totally bugging, hitboxing. You have tons of iframes. You are virtually invulnerable after dodging, although attacks still come in. So yeah,
Okay.
he's got some criticism there.
Okay.
Anyways, all I'm saying is Team Kill Media has released a game before to 6.4 user rating reviews and 1 critic 65 review. And they are coming out with Quantum Terror, which, by the way, I like the cover of the fireman helmet, all that stuff, because, you know, we all know firemen love guns. Yeah, it's a cosmic horror first-person shooter. But after what they said, you know what? Let's ask the chat. Start a poll. Are you going to play Quantum Error when it comes to Xbox?
Have a Game Pass option.
Hold on.
I doubt this game is going to come to Game Pass now that, you know.
I highly doubt it.
Now that they've kind of, you know, just kind of severed some ties here.
All right, we'll give the chat a few minutes while we finish up. Let me check in with the chat, because I know the chat's been throwing it in here, and I just haven't put it in there. Let's see. Tryhard fan. I completely forgot about this game until this situation. Dragonheart joking. Backtrack. Yep, I believe one of the brothers took a hold of the account and is cleaning up his brother's mess. Yeah.
See, exactly. That's what I think happened, you know. Little bro got crazy, and big bro over here slapped him up and had to come and clean house.
That's right. The way only brothers can do. Let's see. Chan Walker says, "Hey, iconic video game. Everyone knows you are supposed to screenshot tweets instead of bookmarks." Yeah, sorry, man. I don't want to screenshot. I let people live on with their mistakes. Let's see. Robbie Henriksen says, "Axel, PlayStation, more news. Can you make next Microsoft coming Xbox Series X Pro?" My question. All right, so he wants us to talk about mid-gen updates here in a while. Can you, Axel, PlayStation, make more news iconic? Yes. Let's see. Chael Walker says, Linus Tech Tips did a whole video on why the SSD speeds really don't matter. I agree. I saw that.
Yep.
I saw that video too. Try Hard Fan. To be fair, they're using direct storage to make Ratchet and Clank playable on a hard drive, and that wasn't an option when the game was in development. But yeah, the PS5 and Series X should pretty much be the same thing for the most part. SSD won't matter that much. The speed difference won't. Yeah. And Jim Ryan jumps in. He goes, just admit I made the best console. Developers prefer PS5. Shout out to Jim Ryan. Thanks so much for joining us. You are the real MVP. Oh, man, I never thought I'd be saying that sentence. I feel like this person is trolling me. I'm very much curious how that game will work on a hard drive. It probably won't. A lot of games are moving over to SSD now. Just saying. And Try Hard Fan says the game looks okay. Doggy Dog says looks like an Xbox 360 game. Shout out to Red Monkey Butt. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the real MVP. He says SSD and haptic feedback are must-haves to enjoy the games. Try Hard Fan. It's important to be humble. Yes. Absolutely important. And Try Hard Fan is going to head out. Thank you so much for joining us. When are developers going to make Xbox the lead platform? A lot of developers do. Maybe for $5, even though it's not on the poll. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And Robbie Hendrick said, we will talk about that topic here shortly. Let's finish out this topic real quick. I think that's enough time for the chat to vote. Let's check out the results. Terry.
Are you going to play Quantum Error on Xbox? 83%. I'm not making that Quantum Error. And then an 8% split between yes and maybe.
Again, the same people fat fingered the wrong answer.
But there you go, guys. I just wanted to talk about the. I'm not into marketing. I'm really not, but I am a consumer, and I'm going to assume that when you market, you might want to market towards me.
Yeah,
especially as a primary Xbox consumer, and what you did just made me want your game even less.
And for a horror game, it doesn't necessarily have to be really good graphically. I played some horror games that don't have that greater graphics, but they're well done, because in the end it has to be atmospheric. You need to have the right sounds and things to make it spooky. And that will go a long way into getting people immersed in the game if the graphics aren't that good. So
yeah, I'm actually watching gameplay right now of their last game, and
is it pretty bad?
PS4 it looks like 360 graphics or PS3 graphics. It just it's the trailer that they had for it looked nice, but the gameplay is just so I mean this game looks better, so they have improved.
Good.
But again, so much hype for mediocre, but I guess it's something that they needed to do. They need to get their name out there somehow to get people to know. Like I never heard of the last game that they had.
No.
Even this one here, didn't know anything about it, but now we know. And again, bad press is always good press. You look at, like I said before, with the Inquirer.
Yeah, there's a lot more people now that are aware of the game that might still check it out, that didn't even know about it. So that's a win for them.
It's a win regardless of the way that we feel towards the way they did it. So yes, they lose people, but guess what? We weren't there in the first place. So we weren't aware of them. We were, and now we're definitely staying away. But you never know. By the time they come out, if they do come out on Xbox, or if you have a PlayStation 5 and you want to play it, you may be intrigued to play it because of all the controversy that popped up. So in the end, they did their job. And now, older brothers trying to play cleanup, so that way when the game does come out, you can't find the negativity that came out from it, because who's going to remember? They're going to be like, oh yeah, I remember something about this game, and then go from there.
All right. Well, there you go. I agree. I agree with everything everybody said. Let's move along, guys. So, pro tip from us: don't make quantum errors in marketing. Let's move on to pro consoles. So, if you've been following in the Twitter sphere, Tom Henderson, who has had a really good track record of leaking Sony hardware, has leaked Project Viola, which could be the PS5 Slim, and has also leaked Project Trinity, which could be the PS5 Pro, even though it could also be the PS6, because as you know, these consoles get developed really, really far in advance. So we're going to talk mostly about Project Trinity, as it is the Pro one, and will Xbox make Project, I don't know, Xbox XL Series?
Yes, XL, I coined it.
Yeah. So here we go. This comes from Rhino, and of course, Rhino. I like Rhino because he always lists sources right down here. So shout out to Rhino. He says the PS5 Pro rumor is called Project Trinity, 30WGP, whatever the hell that means. I don't speak technical architecture, guys. Anybody know what 30WGP means?
Watts of gaming power.
Yeah. I guess so. Let's see. Shout out Shout out to you. I did not know about this game till the TMZ tweets, but need to see more on how it plays at release. I need a pointing wand, I guess. Jim, my consumers will buy most games, unlike Xbox Fan. They love to support developers. All right. So 30 WGP, you know, I'm going to look that up. What does WGP mean? WGP. What does it mean? No, it definitely doesn't mean compute units. Okay. What does 30 WGP mean for computers? I don't know. I have no idea what it stands for. Nobody can. I guess he made it up. Okay. 30 WGP, 18,000 MTS memory, which is how fast your memory can be read, which is basically 5, right? Consistent 4K 60, new performance mode for 8K, accelerated ray tracing, which it should have anyway.
I think I found it.
What is it?
Work group processor. It has to do with basic unit of shader computation hardware and RDNA architecture.
Okay, so it's an AMD tech. So yeah, apparently studios received dev kits in November 2023, aiming for November 2024 launch, and it's the last major hardware before PS6, as PS6 is targeting a 2028 launch. So there you go, guys. PS5 Pro, Project Trinity being leaked by Tom Henderson, who again has a good track record. But a lot of people have been asking, does Xbox now need a Pro? Or you know, it used to be called the Xbox One X. Does it need the Series X squared or the XL? What do we want to call it in our poll, Terry? XL?
XL. I coined it last week.
Okay,
XL.
does Xbox need
Xbox Series XL.
Xbox Series XL. All right, Dreadpool, let's start with you. What are your opinions? We went over this last week, but what are your opinions now that a more credible leak has come out? Do you think this will leave Xbox in the dust?
Not if they can get their software and optimization working, because there is a lot of software that they have yet to finish the tools to have for devs to do. And on top of that, the devs have to use that software. When they don't use the tools properly, you're gonna, I mean, and right now it is just roughly brute forcing some of these games, which is why there's so many issues. When they go and clean it up, they won't have these issues. But again, it depends on the software that they're using and the tools that they're using. But the devs have to use it, and Xbox has tools that is still incomplete.
Right.
So like, there is no need for it. There,
right.
And let's look at it this way, right? Everything else has always been a mid-gen refresh per se. The only time that there was a performance enhancement was last gen from both companies, because 4K TVs were out there, and the previous consoles were not able to handle pushing out the 4K content as quite as easily, right? They were not designed for that, because they were designed for the 1080p TVs. So yet again, pushing that out was necessary. This is the first time this has ever happened. Do we need to push out another 4K blockbuster console seller, whatever you want to call it? No, there's no need for it. That's the problem. PlayStation, with the way that they designed their console, there could be a need on it. Okay, but you've also seen every iteration of console from PlayStation, right? When you look at the PS5 and you look at each iteration of them, it's been smaller and smaller every time. Austin Evans has torn it apart and done all these videos. The spacing has become smaller and smaller and smaller.
Mhm.
So there could be a PS5 Slim. It's just an inevitability for it to happen that way. It's going to be that. So that is not an issue. But to get more power, PlayStation can do that. Xbox, does it need to? I mean, technically, their answer is we have both already. We've got the Series S and we have the Series X. Do we need more? No, they need to utilize what is already there. Yet again, what happened to the 360 era? You look at the end of the 360 and the beginning of the 360, those games look completely different. They've milked everything out of it, right? And you look at the one going into the series. Did they milk everything out of the one? For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
You look at what they did with Gears 5. They ended up using graphical processing to help with the CPU. They had to do tricks to make Gears 5 look better. Not all games did that stuff, but at the same time, we're at the beginning to mid cycle. We're not even there yet.
Yeah.
We haven't even used the power. So why are we going to push out? Is 8K a necessity right now? Are people buying 8K TVs? People have bought 8K TVs, but is there a necessity? I'm putting out videos in 8K, and guess what I'm being told? Nobody's watching 8K. Why am I putting out videos in 8K? Because I'm trying to preemptively be out there with certain videos at 8K. So when it does jump, it's not going to jump in the next year. It's not going to jump in the next 2 years. It'll be out there. So my 8K is going to look like garbage compared to the 8K that they're putting out, when it becomes the necessity to have 8K, right? So you look at that. Where are we going to be when that happens? We'll be in the next generation. Earliest. So
Absolutely.
There's no reason to even get the jump on it now. What does PlayStation have? 8K on their box. Right on the box.
Yeah.
8K capable. What is 8K capable? We can actually play 360 on an 8K machine. Did you not? Or on an 8K TV? Did you not know that?
You can, but it can't put out at 8K.
It's not putting out at 8K, but it's up-resing to 8K because
That's
TV
more the TV doing the up-res than
exactly.
The 360.
You see what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
See what I'm getting at? So yes, we've had games that can output, or I'm sorry, games internally can put out more than the console can output. Right? Games like The Tourist on Xbox. Right? Yeah. That internally was 6K, but it was only putting out 4K. Did it matter? No. It's still a good game.
Yeah. Ori and the Will of the Wisp put out 6K, but or was being rendered at 6K internally, but only outputting 4K.
Exactly. So again, who's benefiting here? Nobody. It's good that the machines can do it, but again, nobody's watching this. It was a necessity last gen. There is no necessity until possibly next gen. Until 8K becomes more mainstream, there is no necessity to push these.
So do you think PlayStation is planning on Project Trinity because they are underpowered? Because it has been proven that when frame rates are unlocked, Xbox is higher. It has been proven that when frames are locked, Xbox can render at higher resolution. This isn't fantasy talking. This is reality, right?
Right.
Do you feel that PlayStation said, "Oh, you know what? Our Magic SSD is great, but the APU on it is just not as good as it needs to be. So we need to upgrade it to match what Xbox is doing, and then our SSD plus something similar to what Xbox has is just going to blow it out of the water." Do you think that they feel that because PlayStation is all about this? What is it? Content parity clause for their games, which I think is a bunch of crap because they're holding the Xbox Series X back from third-party games.
Yeah,
Do you think that the reason they're putting this out is because of that?
Their content parity clause is basically nobody can look better than them, even though they could. Xbox's parity clause would be we will give you the
Content.
highest ability to your console.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between these parity clauses, because Xbox saying it'll be parity across the board. So when it comes to that, you want all this stuff to be equal, but at the same time you're going to restrict to be equal. But Xbox is saying whoever's got better, we will utilize those strengths to make the game better in those aspects. So when it comes to parity clauses, it just depends on how you look at it. Now, at the same time, right? Could they push out a Pro? I could see them doing that, because you would want to correct some of the mishaps that they did in the design of the PS5, because you got to remember that they are pushing power left to the CPU or right to the GPU, depending on what is needed.
Liquid metal, baby.
So you got that fluctuation between equal power, or do we amp up the power on the CPU side because it needs more on CPU, or do we amp up the power on the GPU side because it needs more GPU for processing? Okay, so when you look at that, it's a neat idea, but it doesn't seem to be working very well for them. So if they can even it out and make it capable of last gen and this, or the current gen, I'm sorry, the current gen of the fluctuation of where the power and the processing is going to be concentrated on, to cover both sides, and then you can equally go across there. I see that as a possibility of fixing some of the flaws that were part of that. They also have ray tracing that they didn't do correctly, in my opinion. So they are hampered when it comes to the ray tracing. So again, this could be just a small iteration that jumps up to correct some of these things, and they could call it a Pro, because it'll be just as big as it was before. But the Slim is already showing how you can compress, and that's why we've always had these Slims. These Slim models is basically repackaging what they have into a smaller, because it's more efficient, more the chips are smaller. You can have another set of chips to control some pieces of a puzzle that needed different chips. Now you can combine it into one core. So there's many aspects of this. I do see the Slim being a definite possibility, because it's headed that way. The Pro is a possibility. I'm leaning towards more of a yes, but on the Xbox side, there's no need just yet. Could they do an iteration? I don't see them doing an XL. I can see them doing an X Plus would be like the newer standard for Wi-Fi, which is what PlayStation 5 is using right now.
The Wi-Fi 6.
No, it's Wi-Fi 6E. There's a difference. Xbox is using Wi-Fi 6, so they could do Wi-Fi 6E, or they could actually bump up to 7 if 7 pops out right around that time, and it's monetization wise made sense. Now on the other side, what else do we say? The hard drives, right? Now that the hard drives are starting to get cheaper, we've got Western Digital coming in too. So what if we get a console with a 2 terabyte? What if we get a console that has a USB-C, but it's the 2+2, right? So,
but would that really be considered a Pro? That's more like just quality of life improvements.
Iteration.
That's more like
I didn't
an
say
Xbox
Pro.
Elite.
I would say Xbox Plus.
Yeah, like an Xbox Elite, like the 360 Elite, if you remember that one.
Yes, that would be more of an iteration. I can see them doing that, where it would just clean up some of the stuff that they did, but it would not boost anything more. I mean, just like they did with the 1 and the 1S, right? When they went from the S to the S from the 1, the chip for the 1 was no longer being manufactured. So they made a similar chip to mimic the 1, right? The OG 1. That chip is for the 1S is 5% faster. Did it make a difference? No, not much of a difference. But again, These little increments of a refresh will be there for the Xbox side. I can see them doing that. It's part of business. It's part of manufacturing. We all know that. For anybody putting a blind eye to that, you're not paying attention. But I can see them, if they got to increase the price, what we'll do is we'll pop this little thing in here, like I said, certain little key pieces that would benefit the $50 increase to show you, well, it's more than the other one, but we gave you more inside, which really didn't cost them that much more. Because when you build a die to manufacture these consoles, that's your upfront cost. Once the die is built, you can fine tune it, and it doesn't cost that much more to fine tune it to have better components or different components that make it smaller. This is just manufacturing. Most people don't see this stuff. Most people weren't part of an assembly line when it came to computers. I was part of that line at one point in time. I was so fast with what I was doing that I was told to slow down because the machines weren't keeping up, and people were like, I'd have stuff stacked ready to go, and I would just do my fine tuning and throw it back on the line for somebody else to test it and pass. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on that people do not see when it comes to manufacturing, that people do not understand. And when it comes to this is why I don't think there will be a Pro for the Xbox. It'll be an X Plus.
All right. Harry, thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers. All right. Well, when we discussed this topic last week, I still stand behind. I'm not for mid gens or any kind of upgrades like that. I've never bought into them because they always make more hardware, but they don't ever support the hardware. So it's just not needed. Even the PS5 as they have it now, it's a really good console. They don't really need it. It's just one of those things where it's Sony's ego of they have to be, the best at everything. Like, oh, we're a little, if they have so much as 1 pixel less than Xbox, no, we need to make a whole new machine. It's like, it's just, I don't know, it's not necessary. And the whole 8K thing, it's just a buzzword. It's a buzzword. That way they can say, oh, we have 8K to their 4K. Yeah, we're better. It's like no one's using it. Like, who cares? It's just buzzwords, and it's just them wanting to try to capitalize. Because the thing is, their consumers, they're going to buy into that. And like, oh, well, we have more of this, so it's bigger and better. So it's, it's superior. So I got to have it. In reality, it's really not that much better than anything else. It's just, you're just paying a lot of money for stuff that you're not going to use. I don't know. I'm still against the stuff. It's just buzzwords, and it's going to be more stuff for the fanboys to sit there and be like, yeah, we got more T-flops now, or we got 8K. It's like, who gives a flip? You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. It's just waste of money.
So for me, last gen, we needed it because the Jaguar CPU our APU was just so, it was already slow when it launched. And that's not Xbox's fault or anybody, it's the fact that AMD was so far behind in the chip game compared to Intel at that time. Right. And, I feel that Jaguar chip just really wasn't it, because there was a massive jump between capability between my Xbox One and my Xbox One X. It was just, the experience was the same, but believe me when I say this, it was better. I didn't have to sit through 5-minute loading screens on Red Dead Redemption or wherever, right? It dropped it down to half. And now with these machines, they're not behind in the CPU game. And RDNA 2 chip is still very capable in today's market. And if you look at RDNA 3, RDNA 4 chips, you're looking at $2,000 worth of chip alone. That's not including everything else that it must have. So you have all these, the reason for a mid-gen refresh just isn't there. It just isn't there for me. So for me, I'm not into the mid-gen refresh, simply because I agree with Dreadpool. The developers aren't even. What have you seen the game use mesh shaders yet? Or announced that, hey, you know what? This game was made with mesh shaders.
Nope.
No, nobody's used it, but it's capable. It's there, right? For crying out loud, I don't think a single a single AAA Unreal Engine 5 game has released outside of Fortnite. Anybody? No Unreal Engine 5 games that have released? That's right. You knock over that Xbox decoration, cat. You knock it over all the way over. I'm just saying the Xbox is incredibly capable as it is, especially the Series X. The Series S, I could understand the bottlenecks that they're running into that machine. But the Series X in and of itself is very capable. No issues. And the last thing I believe Xbox wants is a third SKU to develop for. Because 2 SKUs, developers have already voiced that it takes longer to develop for Xbox because of that dual SKU they have. You must develop for an Xbox Series S and must develop for an Xbox Series X. And me personally, us as consumers, we benefit from that requirement because my friend has a Series S and he has no intention of buying the Series X. He loves his Series S. So I just don't see the need for Xbox to add a third queue to convolute the development even more. I don't understand why PlayStation is going to do that. All it's going to do is slow down development again. And we're already waiting 5 to 6 years on games on console. So to wait another 6 months to a year because of dual SKUs, of more SKUs, a game developer might just say, screw it. It's PC only, or say, screw it. It's to this platform only, whatever.
How many SKUs does PC have?
Right, but on PC, you don't have to optimize. You can just, you can put a game out like Crysis. It's like, oh, will it run Crysis? All Crysis was an unoptimized game. What can it run Crysis? Well, it can't run Crysis because Crysis is so badly optimized.
What game was that almost bricked to 4090? Was that Redfall? That it was so unoptimized that it almost,
it might have been because if you can brick a 4090, your optimization game is not on point. It's non-existent.
And that's what people don't get. It's optimization. When you're at PC, you're optimizing for all the different variables with graphics cards, CPUs, because you're talking about NVIDIA, you're talking about AMD, right? Mm-hmm. And AMD is not just graphics, but it's also CPU. And then you're talking about Intel on the CPU side. Mm-hmm. Intel was coming out with a graphics card. So again, you're looking at all these different pieces, and you have to make them cohesive with all the different variety of SKUs on the CPUs and GPUs and the aftermarket manufacturers that are putting in their little pieces and extra memory and CUDA cores and this and that. Mm-hmm. But yet, when it comes to console, being a closed box was easy to do and milk the power out of it, even though you didn't have the raw power like you did with a 4090. Right. But now everybody's complaining about 2 SKUs versus 1. Wait a second. PlayStation is going to have possibly a Slim, which is the same SKU as they've always had, and now a Pro. Isn't that going to be 2 different SKUs again? This is the whole fanboy narrative of this, what's good for this, but it's not good for that. And people just keep on twisting things around. When you look at certain things, look at it logically as a whole. It doesn't matter.
I don't know, the fact that they're like, more the accelerated ray tracing. We all know that the holy grail of ray tracing is path ray tracing. Am I right, Jed?
Yes.
And even a 4090, the world's most capable ray tracing graphics card, drops down to sub 20, sub teens ray tracing on games when it's turned on. Even with all that NVIDIA tech, DLSS and all that crap turned on, it still bogs down when ray tracing is turned on. I don't see the reason for it. If a 4090 can't run it, you think your PlayStation is going to do it? You think your Xbox is going to do it at the $500-$600 price point? It's not. That 4090 by itself is $2,000, and it can't do it.
Now imagine, let's stream this at 8K.
The internet couldn't handle it.
No, you couldn't do it. That's kind of the point of there's no need to upgrade these things. There's no need for these. It just we need to have better utilization. A lot of these games are getting so much bigger, and when you're looking at how big that they're getting, right? They're taking anywhere from 6 to 8 years now, where they took 2 to 3 years before. They're so much bigger that by the time you start making these games, you're already going to miss the generation that the game was made for.
Yeah.
Think about that.
I agree. I agree with everything you're saying. I think it's not necessary.
And that's the whole thing. Let's just make sure that you optimize the games for what we have now. Bigger is always going to be better. We want the Hummer. We want the Optimus Prime truck that we can get, but guess what? At some point in time, you're just gonna have to get a car.
Yeah.
Whether it's back in the day,
to get that Nissan Altima.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You're just gonna have to get a car. You might want the big old 4x4s. You might want the the lifted trucks, but guess what? You might have to just get a Ford Ranger, whatever the new one is.
Yeah,
but you get what I'm saying,
baby.
But at some point in time, you're going to have to utilize what you have, and if no one's going to be able to do everything bigger and better, because there will always be somebody bigger and better. And why worry about that now? Let's utilize what we have and go from there. I'm not buying a car just so I can trade, take it off the lot, turn around and trade it in from a Altima to a Maxima. That's not smart. Let's just utilize the Ultima until it's almost dead, and then go back in and get the next Maxima.
Yeah, whenever I get a car, I run them for 100,000 miles, and then I get another one. I've never had a car for more than 100,000. I know some people are like, "Oh, my car goes for 300,000." Good for you. I'm 100,000 kind of guy, just the way I buy cars. But and the way I buy consoles, unless the mid-gen refresh last gen was needed.
Yes.
But we didn't need one for the 360. We don't need one now. I don't see why. Let's check in with the chat real quick. Fastback says, I see no reason for a PS5 Pro, but a Slim, yes. Last gen had a mid-gen refresh because of 4K, but this gen is good and not fully utilized. I agree. Red Monkey Butt says, gamers need to stop being Digital Foundry fanboys and enjoy games. Absolutely. Red Monkey, Robbie Hendrickson says, want Phil Spencer to make now new Xbox Series X Pro. So he definitely wants one. Doggy Dog says, I'm buying a PS5 Pro to sell it on eBay. Let's see. I probably won't buy an 8K TV for 8 more years. Yeah, exactly.
We still have people watching stuff and playing at 1080p.
Yep, my friend is one of those 1080p gamers. He actually just this week ordered a new 4K TV. And the reason was because his 1080p was fine, quote unquote. Right? Doggy Dog says that's exactly it, Axel. This is just because the PS5 is not as powerful. That's why they run with the faster SSD narrative right now. Let's see. Dragonheart Yobi says the Series X is a powerhouse to the point it doesn't need a refresh. Sony, I honestly believe they had a refresh in mind before the PS5 released. Honestly felt they rushed the console out.
I can agree with that.
Yes and no, but the PlayStation is fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not weak. That's the difference. Last gen, yes, the consoles were weak. This week, not so much. Or this gen, not so much.
It's not weak, it's weaker.
Yeah. Xbox did a mid-gen refresh last gen because they were less powerful. Same for the PS5 this gen. Maybe. I think the PS5 is just fine. If the PS5 was struggling with games optimization and sales, yeah, a Pro probably needed, but not needed. Just give us a Slim and customs. Yeah. I agree. And shout out to Cyber Gunther for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the real MVP. He says, what we need is games to start taking advantage of every ounce of power these consoles have inside. Yeah, and that won't come till the end of the gen.
Exactly.
Dragonheart Yobi says, to stream 8K, your internet will have to be bigger than 1 gigabyte. Yeah. Or the compression tech will have to catch up. That's all we're saying. Yeah, so yeah, there you go. That is going to do it today. But Terry, we did post a poll. What are those results?
Does Xbox need to release a Series XL? 61% no, I'm not spending another $600. We don't want an upgrade. 27% yes, more power, and 11% they just want to know more. Maybe they're on the fence.
They're on the fence. All right, but guys, that's going to do it for the show. Shout out to all of you for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you, and that's why you guys, the chat, will always be the MVPs to any of the shows here on the Iconic Video Games channel. And with that being said, we're going to get out of here. Enjoy your Sunday, everybody. I'm Axel1324.
And I'm Cool Cat Terry.
And I'm Dreadful.
And we'll catch you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Later.